Hey, what's up, everyone? Christopher Michael, Trade Movers. I hope everyone had a fabulous week and is about to enter the weekend extraordinarily. I found a letter that I wrote to myself last year. I really had a lot of issues. I allowed a lot of things get to me and made a lot of bad decisions in order to get out of it. Going forward, logic now has taken over a couple of months ago. I feel absolutely fine. Despite the situations that I have faced, I pushed forward. I believed in pushing forward. And that's because I had no other option. So the letter I wrote to myself was last year in 2014. It was a little bit over the 50% mark of the year. I feel the pressure as now I have to start from scratch with my moving company. I allowed myself to be corrupted by betrayal and disappointment in others. I lost myself for a while and acknowledged that I know what is going on. The procrastination of doing something is what causes the pressure to build. I allowed others to use me, and since I knew them for years, betraying me was the pain I could not endure. As it was more than one person, it was many people and many situations. I allowed the disappointment to take over my soul. I allowed it to corrupt my positive demeanor and went into a slumber of self-pity and regret, not focusing at the end goal as I've already achieved it like I used to do. I distilled in wine and loneliness and allowed my self-corruption to bring me back to the bottom. People I trusted with love, and despite the disappointment comes from within my heart, I still care. The pressure is enormous and caused me to feel and see everything fade to black. My heart goes through all of this and is still beating, but hurting at the same time. I looked at this place around me and I felt so empty and saddened by myself by closing myself in. It is the most appreciated experience from 2013 that led into this year to 2014. I realized that if I cannot do anything I wanted, that I considered myself useless. There is no way I have the right to feel like that when I have done so much for myself and others. Despite the lack of care I see, I have to accept that I put that lack there, as I am no longer present on the outside. All wrongs that I've done is due to my own choosing and not use the ability to force that energy into something good. That is where I cry and that is where I suffer. And right now I no longer permit that to carry on by the force of my own. I can no longer allow myself to regress into the mind that indulges in depression that once was. I have to no longer feel like a man, but do the things a man should do. Dispose of all wrongdoers toward me and do right, as that was what got me to this point. Failure is not an option. Sadness is not an option. Death is not an option. Strength and success is 2015. Push forward. I've always believed that if you've kept a positive outlook, that the situations will end as soon as you put your foot down. This message was sent to me in the past that I was putting my foot down at that time when I wrote it. I chose to make the option of making myself feel better rather than allowing others or allowing situations to control how I feel. When you are clouded in emotion, your free will is given up based on the choices that you make. If you love someone and you're choosing based on the emotions of love to act a certain way without even being aware of it, that is what I'm trying to state. Because people do that. People look at the raise, but they don't think about whether they should take it or not because there's a better position. Because once they take the raise, their emotions are satisfied and the better position passes them along and they're not unaware of it happening. When your mind is clouded with several types of emotions, especially depression and sadness, or any type of negative feeling, your judgment is clouded. It's almost like the person who's drinking the most he can to then drive home. People have made it, but there have been so much more that had lost. My point being is the fact that if we choose not to control who we are, what is going on, then we choose to allow the world give us what it thinks we want. Because of the fact that we are looking and paying attention to the things that we do not like, we keep ourselves in that phase of being in what we do not like. My main point is that life should not always feel a certain way if you're going through a situation that brings you down. Because if you allow that situation that brings you down, then you will feel down 100% all the time. However, if you say, I'm going to put my foot down and no longer allow anything get to me, then you will be happy. You could pretend to be happy by laughing at the thoughts as if you were in that time frame. Think of the goofy things that you can do. Think of what will make you smile and laugh, and then put yourself in that stage by imagining. That is the only time I feel that your emotions should dictate. I understand you say, but what about your gut feeling? Sometimes your gut feeling is wrong. However, 2 plus 2 is logically impossible to say that it's wrong. Use your mind better. Join us for June 11th to Feed Chicago from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. while we feed the homeless on Lower Wacker Drive and feed the public class, working class on Jackson and Michigan. If you need movers, 855-696-6833. If this message is for you, you're more than welcome to message me on Facebook or whichever avenue. Everyone can talk to another person if they have to. Sometimes it takes another person to hold your hand to bring you out of your struggle, because as long as you want to get out of that mood that you're in, that emotion you're in, things will work. I promise that. Godspeed. Trade movers. Christopher Michael. Push forward.